Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. For those of you that are new, my name is Lori. I usually talk about different things that are related to just where I am in my life. Basically, my husband had a heart transplant. He had heart failure, and he has a condition called Emery-Dreifuss muscular dystrophy. It usually affects you in childhood. It attacks your muscles and things like that, but it also attacks your heart. He was having weakness. A lot of things were happening. But what I want to talk about today is the fact that while we were going through this, he had heart failure for about 6 years. And whether it was the dystrophy or the heart failure, not sure, but he was very, very weak. He was having a real hard time walking up and down the stairs or falling all the time. And things just progressed. He started using a cane, and then he started having to use a wheelchair. So this is for veterans. I was under the impression that if you have an illness and you were in the military, that the VA helps you. There is a lot of red tape, and I have been learning this for a very, very long time. And even to get him disability, VA disability, it took us a very, very long time. And there's a thing that's called Service Connection, and there are a lot of programs that are available for illnesses and injuries that are service connected. There are also situations that they will help you if your illness or your injury is not related to what happened when you were in the military. So when he was in the military, he was in the Marine Corps, and he, believe this or not, jumped out of an airplane, which I'll never understand. But he jumped out of, this airplane, and when he landed, he injured his knee, and he ended up he tore his meniscus. He had to get surgery. I'm going to give you just the really, really short version of this. He had surgery. He was in Okinawa, and his surgeon went back to the States, and he didn't put anything in his record that stated, what kind of rehab he needed, how long he needed to be off his knee. And this was a very long time ago, and I am hoping they don't do things the same way that they used to do. But because nothing was in his chart, about a week later, he ended up running 5 miles on that knee. So he really did a terrible job on that knee. And then when he got out, he's just been having trouble with it ever since. So probably about 2 years after he was discharged, we started the process of disability. So fast forward now to about 5 or 6 years ago, when he started to get sick. Obviously his service connection was knee, and he was having rehabilitation for his knee at the VA. That's been ongoing for a very, very long time. And the issue that we had at the time with him going up and down the stairs was muscular dystrophy and heart failure and his falling. And I racked my brain. I did everything I could. I called everybody I could. So here's what I'm going to suggest to all of you that are listening, that are in this same position. Get in touch with, this is what I learned, so learn from me. Get in touch with your local town. In your town, you should have a some sort of veterans group, some sort of, group that helps veteran. Now, it's different than things like the VFW and those kind of organizations. This is within your town, like in the town hall. So, for instance, in my town, they have this veterans group. It's run by an amazing woman who I can now say I consider my friend. I called her and she told me about a group that they have. So they have meetings. They have meetings like once a month or something like that. And she encouraged me to come. And I went. I went without my husband because he was not doing well. And they have like a question and answer period. She was telling me that they had this certain guest speaker from the VA and I should go and I should ask questions. So I did. I went, I asked questions. She was very informative. But let me tell you where I found the greatest information. After the meeting was over, I can't tell you how many men and women came up to me, so incredibly warm and helpful, an amazing group of people. And some of them came up to me in the same situation I was in, and here's what they told me. Here's the advice they gave me. Call the VA, get him an appointment with his primary physician at the VA, which I did, and they said if he's not going to help or she's not going to help and they're not helpful, then they gave me a couple of names of doctors in my local VA that helped them. But I have to be honest, I haven't met anybody at the VA where I live. I'm in Connecticut that has not been helpful. They have been amazing. They said, make an appointment with him or her, tell them what is happening and what you need. And at the time, what I needed for him, when I raised my hand and I asked the question, I said, I need a stair lift. One of those stair lift things that take you from the first floor to the second floor. We actually were considering moving our bedroom down to the first floor because him going up and down the stairs, he was falling all the time. And again, this progressively got worse. At one time, he ripped the handrail right off the wall. Had to, if you saw my handrail, it's like, it's made for, it's sturdy now. It's like this solid piece of wood put into the wall. But yeah, he was falling constantly and it was getting very scary. So I needed this lift. And that was my goal. That was my main goal when I went and I asked these questions. And again, these people just came up to me and said, this is what you need to do. You need to go to this doctor. You need to tell him what you need, and he will put in for the veteran what is needed in his home. And let me tell you, it was fast. We went to the appointment. He totally understood what was needed. He filled out a form online on his computer. Within a week, we got a phone call from a company that came out to take measurements. And within probably 2 weeks after that, somebody called to make the appointment to install the chair. And that was such an amazing gift. And when I tell you I tried everything that I could possibly think of, and I could not figure out how to get this chair for him, and we could not afford to put this chair in, but we knew we needed it. We knew we needed something to protect him because he was falling like crazy. It was very scary. So, I mean, honestly, months of work. I went to that meeting, probably within a month we had the chair installed. So I would say if you need anything like that, I also would highly, highly suggest going to those meetings, finding your local committee, and they have meetings, and they have them once a month, and once a month they have guest speakers. I mean, I went to one that they told you about all things that are available for veterans. I mean, things that I didn't even know were available for veterans, and tracking down what's needed. And I learned a lot of things, and I continue to learn a lot of things when I go to these meetings. Everybody is so helpful. All your fellow veterans are, and wives and husbands, very, very partners, very helpful. An amazing group of people, and it is a resource that is amazing for veterans and disabled veterans. So see what you could do about finding out your local committee, see if they have meetings, and go. I highly encourage you to go. So I will talk about another thing probably next time, because this is getting a little bit long. We actually had to have our bathroom remodeled to be handicapped for him, and we were able to get that done as well. Unfortunately, not through the VA, but there are also so many programs through the VA that are available. You have to climb through a lot of red tape, but let me tell you, in the end, they're worth the work. So if you find that you got a lot of helpful information here, which I hope you did, please hit the subscribe button. Once you hit the subscribe, there'll be a little bell if you want to be notified next time I post a video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below, and I will see you next time. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.